Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Love Wrestling Sunday Brunch. I am Chris Parrish. Alongside to my left is the Wordsmith, and right below me is Bobby Munson. And I could not be more thankful to be joined by such a great couple guests. But first things first, thank you to our sponsor down in the bottom left, RK Athletics, where you can reach them on all the social platforms of RK Athletics One, who does a lot of great online work if you're not in the Edmonton area to get it hands-on from Rich, who, in my opinion, not only has one of the best physiques in pro wrestling, but one and the most dedication to the art of not only fitness, working out, as well as nutrients and dietary information. Go check out Rich. First things first, we want to make sure we say hello to the people joining us. They're amazing. Hello.
Salutations, Dar amazing. You're amazing.
And Don Lewis, a.k.a. Bubba Duke, coming in, greeting us. Thank you so much for being here. Wordsmith, how are you? And how's your Sunday going?
Sunday is Sunday morning coming down off of an interesting, heart-wrenching, fantastic, yet not amazing pay-per-view last night. But we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But I'm good.
Good. Bobby, same to you. How are you doing? How's your Sunday? And tell us.
Yeah, Sunday's just kicking off for me. It's going well so far. Happy to be here with you guys and all the amazing people in our chat here today. Looking forward to talking some wrestling.
HCW Sports, what up, boys? Not much. And Bobby, you said yours is just starting. I was asleep 15 minutes ago, so I think I have you a little beat on that one. But we might, and then we have Dare Amazing saying, yeah, for the Wordsmith. Clearly he's paying our guests.
I cannot confirm or deny. The check is in the mail, Darby.
But what we can confirm was last night, AEW presented Full Gear, where we saw the crowning achievement of a new AEW World Champion, Hangman Adam Page. We might as well start right off with that. What did you guys think of the pay-per-view?
Where are we starting up there?
Wherever you want.
Let's start with Bobby.
It's Sunday Brunch. We just call it on the stream, brother.
Fair enough. I as a pay-per-view, as a whole, we'll get into it. Kind of mixed feelings, but the main event, kind of the same thing. It's like the match itself wasn't amazing by any means, but the moment outweighed the match itself. The moment was incredible for Adam Page. It was a great moment for him, and it ended the pay-per-view on a very high note for fans. So great, and kudos to Adam Page on his big win.
I will agree. I would have to agree with that. There were moments that I didn't enjoy, but outweighed by moments that I did enjoy. So overall, enjoyable evening.
Yeah, not a lot of times you see the guy you want to win always really have that true story. Seeing Hangman getting that win, getting it done in this fashion that he did against Kenny Omega, the story they told, I don't think they could have told a better story from such an organic guy in AEW. So just a very nice go-home feeling of having Adam Page being your fourth AEW World Champion, which, couldn't be surprising. Anybody we think is going to be his first challenger?
Miro.
Not the guy that beat him?
It's a long night. I do apologize. That's who I wanted to win. I put my cards on the table and I regret nothing. No, it should be Daniel Bryan.
Brian Daniels.
Pull the JR. You know what? Here's what we'll do. We're going to rewind. Right now.
Wordsmith, is there anyone that Hangman Adam Page you want to see challenge him first for that AEW World Championship?
Well, thank you for that organically natural question that I've never heard once before in my life. I, for one thing, would like to say that Miro put up a hell of a fight, but I must say the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. I don't think he's going to win, but I think it's going to be a hell of a match.
Bobby?
Yeah, I mean, I second that, really. I mean, Bryan Danielson is the right choice. He did win the opportunity, so therefore that should be the match and a good one to look forward to. I think they could tear it down. Now, obviously, Bryan Danielson can actually carry guys in a match really well, and with somebody that has the talent that Adam Page possesses, we should get a great one-on-one encounter there.
Looks like you're not alone, Wordsmith. A lot of people pulling for the Miro. And HGW Sports saying Danielson gets the big boy title shot, but no win. Hangman retains for a minute. You know, I must say that, yeah, I do think that Adam Page is going to probably be holding on to this title for, you know, a good length of time. Is there anyone that we can see right away saying, hey, you know, this will probably be the guy who ends up taking the title off him?
I got to go MJF on that one. I think that if they hold on long enough and continue to build MJF in the way they do, then ultimately he is your best heel going forward and somebody that the company has authentically built into that position as a main event level guy.
Not a bad opinion, but I throw an alternative.
Okay.
Given the fact that a certain someone was basically booed out of the building in glorious fashion last night, I think heel Cody, where he just says, F it, I'm taking that belt, and I don't care about Hangman.
It could happen.
Thoughts?
Yeah, I think if you want to go the heel route, I don't think there's a shortage of whether it's Cody.
Have a choice. Everyone hates him.
I was talking about if you're going to put it on a heel champion after Hangman.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Tony, are you listening? Cody's
why all the whispering?
Because I don't want to upset the internet trolls. But Cody should be your next heel champion. What did I say that? He should just be awful. And yeah, there, I said it. Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. Let's get it. Because again, my thought process is going to stop kind of with you guys. Because, outside of that match, I think like what was another good feel-good moment for you guys in this pay-per-view? Bobby, we'll start with you.
Punk and Kingston. I mean, they did everything right after that pull-off argument that they had recently on Rampage. They went into this one hot with each other. They started slugging it out. This was what broke up the pay-per-view from what it looked like prior to this. This was completely different from everything else on the card. And Punk just really selling it at the end. And then his little tip-off to John Cena was kind of comical too, right in the middle there as well. So, I mean, great entertainment and a great fight, I will say. I mean, there wasn't much wrestling. It was a fight, and it needed to look like a fight, and they pulled it off.
I'm at a loss for words because you've stolen my answer. The only thing I will say is one thing I really liked about this pay-per-view was the amount of MF and F-bombs that were just thrown out there. I was like, ooh. I believe, and somebody in the comments can correct me on this, I believe in that main event, Kenny Omega did scream in Hangman's face, F off, very loudly. And I thought that's magic. And just the only match that did it better was definitely CM Punk versus Kingston. But those are my two of the night. So
I think
because I like both.
Safe to say when it comes to the unprofessional F-bomb, nobody is going to do it better than Eddie Kingston and CM Punk.
I would say they're more professional F-bombs because they've done it so much. So, like, what is it to be a professional? 10,000 hours of using a certain thing? I'm pretty sure Eddie Kingston and CM Punk have more than 10,000 hours. I was actually going to let that loose there for a second. They have more than 10,000 effing hours of being foul-mouthed sailors and beating the piss out of each other. So, yeah, I would say they aren't unprofessional. I would say they are very professional.
Hold on. If it takes 10,000 hours of commitment to be a professional or something, then I was a fighting cursing sailor by the age of 10 years old then.
Card-carrying member of that club myself. Although I don't do it here because Love Wrestling is a classy establishment.
I was going to say
hugs instead of headlocks here.
Yes.
Hey, headlocks are nice. I mean, I am I'm a little bit more favorable to the headlocks myself. A good hug leads to a good headlock. But I wanted to ask you guys, what did you think about the new gear that CM Punk rocked?
The shorts, the MMA type style.
Yeah.
I think it looked good, especially suited to this particular fight and everything. I enjoyed it.
I think they were mentioned on a certain podcast a couple of years ago with his buddy Colt Cabana, but somebody said no. Those initials are VKM because that's not a good idea, pal. I thought it was cool. I liked it.
I think it's really cool that CM Punk is like taking an opportunity with this platform to kind of kind of innovate, kind of like his attire. I think too, like as you were saying, Wordsmith, like when people get stuck in WWE, they tend to do the same repetitive thing time in and time out. So it's kind of nice to see after all this time, CM Punk is still taking some time to be creative with a lot of things. Speaking of being creative, what was the most creative thing you guys took away out of this pay-per-view?
I will say the moment where, and I'm going to go back to the main event because I did like it quite a bit. Just the entrances alone. Hangman's video, I thought, was absolutely amazing with the Dark Order running. Was the funniest thing I've seen in a while. And I love me some Dark Order. But I will say the sign of what would Coda think? And Kenny's look at that sign of like, and he just didn't, he no-sold it, but he also stared at it like, ugh, okay, let's do this. And it was, I thought that was one of the more creative moments of the night.
Actually, if you bring up the next comment there, Parrish, this kind of leads into reminding me of something that I would take away creatively was just the tributes to Eddie Guerrero that happened last night after his passing. So,
yeah,
I mean, but props to the comment.
I just wanted to know what kind of roll-ups is he doing to strangers?
There we go. But yeah, we saw both CM Punk and I believe Chris Jericho do the tributes to Eddie
the Lucha Brothers.
Right? Hey, yes, sir. Yeah.
And the Lucha Brothers as well.
Yeah. And I think that's another great kind of segue going into the Lucha Brothers against FTR for the tag titles there. What did you guys think of that match? I admittedly had a show last night, so I could not watch this pay-per-view. So I'm kind of watching a lot of the Twitter highlights and what I could watch of it.
That's fair. I think, how do I put this? It wasn't my favorite on the card, but it was definitely like, it was a tag match that deserved to be there, and there were stakes in it, so I enjoyed that. Would I go back and watch it? Not really, but I do love me some Lucha Brothers, so.
Yeah, it went on a little bit too long. I like FTR a lot too, and I thought I'd like this one a little bit more. It wasn't nearly as good as what either team's done previously in the past, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, there was just way too much going on at the end, and then when FTR changed into those green lucha masks and tried to pull the swerve on the referee, it really didn't make a whole lot of sense since neither one of those two guys look exactly alike, especially when it's just the face being covered up and not the tattoos or anything of the sort. So, I mean, it was a little bit goofy in that sense, but had they drawn back on a little bit of that at the end, it could have been a lot stronger. It's not a terrible match. It just wasn't an amazing match.
Yeah. Are you guys on the same segue or mindset of me that their tag division just isn't getting it right per se as of right now? Like, it just doesn't seem like it's totally clicking as a whole.
Well, they're not using two of them. They're not using Santana Ortiz. They're not using the Young Bucks as a tag team.
That's perfectly okay.
I just meant like from the inception of the company.
We discussed this before going on air. They're extremely violent people, and they're extremely valuable pansies at this point. I'm tired of them. I'm sorry. There, I said it.
Got it out of you. That's all.
It's not too sweet anymore. It's too old. Stop it.
But yeah, the tag division, to your credit there, Parrish, is not being fully realized yet in AEW.
Wordsmith, I had to say, speaking of too old, that has to be the segue going to the inner circle match.
I'm gonna leave. And let me explain why. Because love wrestling is about loving wrestling. This was neither love nor wrestling. I'm done. You may continue. I will sit here silently and respectfully decline to answer any of your questions about this wonderful match.
We can't always say love when we've seen the host talk about Jackson Riker.
Sorry, who's that? I only respond to people that are worth talking about. Go ahead.
And he's also badmouthed Bobby Lashley on this podcast at the very beginning part of it. So you've seen the evolution of his thought process about the current Mighty One. From what I saw in this match, I just want to know, with all the people that want to explode my Twitter saying how great AEW is, explain this one to me. Explain why I'm supposed to love this company and think it's the new thing of pro wrestling when you give me a dumpster fire that is this match. What do you think about it, Bobby?
Well, that's just it. Had this happened on a WWE pay-per-view, people would be up in arms about how garbage it was and ban the WWE network and all the shit that they say. Oh, sorry about saying that, but all the things they go off about. It happens to AEW, and it's like praise AEW for this stuff. But it's like, no, this was garbage. It was a dumpster fire. I mean, it's lazy booking when you do stuff like this in the first place. Everybody involved looks like a complete inner joke rather than an inner circle. I mean, this was not supposed to be this far in the pay-per-view. This may be your pre-show match at best, and they wasted so much good talent on the pre-show to have this later on in the night. Waste of time.
Can I just say one thing?
Yes, please. We need filler.
So this match with absolutely no stakes whatsoever. None. No titles, no nothing. Just MMA fighters that are not wrestlers. I don't care how many championships you've won in another place. I don't care. I don't care. This went on before the women's match. Now, given what's happened in recent times in AEW, you think they would realize probably not a good idea to... Oh, I've said too much, but I think that this was a terrible thing to put on a pay-per-view, and I'm going to be nice. I think that everyone involved should have gotten paid, and I think they all deserve jobs, but don't put this one on the resume. At me. I don't care.
Well, I'm going to say a man that definitely does have a huge resume when it comes to being a dick is Michael Jackson Freeman. I'm calling him Michael Jackson because he's nothing short of a thriller in my eyes. But I actually watched the match with him and Darby Allin, and I thought that was one of the better matches of the night. I can say AEW's future is definitely bright when you have Hangman Adam Page, Darby Allin, and MJF kind of there. What did you guys think about this match, and what did MJF picking up the win signalize for you guys?
We kind of talked about this before we went on the air too, but I think my biggest problem with it is placing it on first. Again, these guys pulled out everything from spots outside the ring to everything you could imagine, every missed fall, everything you could do. And it kind of kills the momentum for the rest of the card. I think this could have gone on somewhere in the middle towards the end, because the match one-on-one between these two guys was great. They're both great talents. MGF is a fantastic heel. I love this guy since his MLW days, and coming into AEW, he's just picked up and gotten better on it. And I think there's a lot to be said to flesh this one out more.
I wonder if there was a place for this later on in the card.
Yeah, I wonder.
One of my thought process.
Where could you have put this match later on in the card?
One of my thought processes about this match was, in the future of AEW, how many more times are we going to see this match?
I'm sorry, how many times did we see Randy Orton versus John Cena?
No, but that's my point. I have a feeling this is going to be one of those big time feuds that kind of help describe a lot of people about the history of AEW over the years to come. I think we're going to see a lot more MJF and Darby Allin, and I like the fact that it's not being thrown down our throat as being the most important thing on the show right away, because I think they have a long-term vision that, you know what, we're probably going to be doing more with these two together down the road. So we don't necessarily want to just, give you everything that they can possibly do right now, because we know eventually we'll come back with this later. I thought this was a great plan of things to come with these two.
Yeah, they didn't have to give away the whole everything.
When you say, like, is there a place for them later in the card? Absolutely. They're two of the best pro wrestlers going right now. I think we can all agree on that. But I think for the sake that, both of them are not even 20, like MJF's 23?
Yeah. Yep.
And Darby Allin is still very, very young as well. And yeah, these guys are going to be pillars for the AEW brand in a decade, and it's going to be very fun to watch their evolution just from here on out, knowing how good they are right now.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, you said it all right there. They are the future of the company. There will be more to come from them. And yeah, the future is bright when they can actually take people that weren't established stars before and start to build them as stars, as the case with Darby Allin, MJF, and Hangman Page. They've done a great job with those three, and they do need to do it more, of course, because they can't continue to rely on every WWE release or ROH signing that they can get out of this whole thing. Eventually, they do need those stars that they'll build themselves. They've done a great job with those three, and I wait to see what else they can do.
Jay, thoughts on just kind of maybe what we can see more of MJF and Darby Allin? Like, if you were
nothing more than it's already been said, I think that there is a lot of potential in the younger generation of AEW talent, and my goodness,
yeah, Jungle Boy is another one.
Future's bright. Future is very, very bright.
That's probably a good trend. Like Jungle Boy, I thought again shined last night. And we can go back, or we can go to that.
It was actually thinking we could talk about. Bobby mentioned ROH. Why'd you bring that up, Bobby? Something happened last night with ROH?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe somebody named Jay Lethal signed
pomp and circumstance. Pomp and circumstance happening.
And apparently, he said that he won't be at the final show for Ring of Honor either. So he has made AEW his official home. And yes, that Jay Lethal debut in an AEW. Let's see where it goes.
I want Black Machismo back so bad, just for one night. I don't even care. There, I said it.
Now I gotta ask you the question: do we see a second woo off?
Yeah, get Ric Flair in there. Woo!
Oh, his impression's so good. His impressions are so good. And I think with a budget that AEW has, I think they could prolong that, or even make it a segment on hell, even make it a segment on BTE. I don't care. Just have it happen. And yes, it needs to happen because the wrestling universe demands it.
All right. No, I think who do you think will be the next domino from ROH to move?
I was gonna say Danhausen, but then the universe cursed him and broke his leg.
Because
or Danhausen or be cursed. There, I said it.
Do you think the team of Mike Bennett and Matt Taven is going to go to Impact? Because that's where I have a strong feeling that they'll end up going with Maria as well. Yeah. And I have time for that. I think they'd be great additions over at Impact. I'm very curious to see, if a PCO will go anywhere. I know he's coming our way in the new year. So
PCO going.
How about the Briscoes? I mean, we're talking about that tag division needing some injection of life. The Briscoes would be that injection of life over in AEW.
I'd have time to see Briscoes against Santana and Ortiz. Whew. That'd be some good stuff right there. That'd be like my Punk and Eddie, but in a tag format. All right. Awkward pause. This is always nice.
This is me being nice about the Briscoes, but I'll pass.
Oh,
next.
Okay. Okay. We won't talk about what Wes Briscoe, Gerald Briscoe. Clearly, clearly upset the wordsmith. He does not like Briscoes. Is there anybody wordsmith that you would like to see in AEW from Ring of Honor
I was
outside of the Danhausen?
maybe. I don't think PCO would fit, but
No.
then again, like he doesn't fit anywhere. Really, he shouldn't fit in Ring of Honor, but he does. So I just want him to have a job that I can watch him on television again. So he can make an impact, or he can be, all elite. I don't care, as long as he doesn't end up on NXT 2.0 and wearing bright colors that suck. Sorry, go on. I was being nice.
I think an act that I'd have a little bit of time for in AEW, just because I know a peacock would follow, would be Dalton Castle. I think he would make a very entertaining arrival in AEW. When I last kind of was in watching Ring of Honor on TV and we're getting it, I was seeing a lot of him versus Bobby Fish, and I was actually quite surprised with some of their stuff. I really much liked the talk show where Peacock would just go on the hands and knees, and then he would just sit on them. And I thought that was funny. And I'm like, I want to see that on national TV because this is funny. I think, now we can kind of move on. I want to kind of go over the whole pay-per-view because that's so fresh in everyone's head. We got the match between Jurassic Express and Christian against the Super Click, I believe. What did we think of that? I know I was happy to see the Super Click not go over but I know, Bobby, you've been pretty defined in your perception of Adam Cole and the Young Bucks. But how did you think they fared in this matchup?
I'm not going to say anything favorable to them. I don't like the Young Bucks. I never have. I don't think that anything they've produced has ever been quality. I think they're jokes. And they're bringing Adam Cole down with them at the moment. Adam Cole has got a lot more talent. He's great on a microphone and he can go in the ring, but he's being brought down by a lesser tag team that has been pushed way beyond their means, in my opinion. Just my opinion. When it comes to the other side of the table, I've always been a Christian Cage fan. I love him, but again, he's just there, and that's about it right now for me. And then I like Jungle Boy. I wish Jungle Boy wasn't with the idiot dinosaur that he sidekicks with, but that's
Bobby. This is like the meanest thing you've ever said.
Well, you wanted my opinion on this. Plus, I also
he has a doctorate.
Falls Count Anywhere again, covering up bad wrestling with lazy booking. I hated this.
All right, Wordsmith, we're going to you now. It's to bring the positive meter back up from a "we don't work today" to "hey, I'm here. What do you want me to do?"
See, I didn't like this match. 100% didn't like it. I just. How many times has Christian headlined or been involved in the Tokyo Dome? Huh? How many times has the Young Bucks been to the Tokyo Dome? 47, according to them. I don't know, actually, the count. But still, they're the best tag team in the universe. No, that's the Lucha.
At one point in time, Hulk Hogan went to the Tokyo Dome, so it's not saying much for the talent side of things here.
Not talking to you anymore, Bobby.
That's fine.
I'm not talking to you anymore.
Anyway, Parrish, how is your day going?
It feels like it's just getting started.
Luchasaurus has a doctorate. You should show some respect.
Luchasaurus complained about training being too difficult.
Has a doctorate.
Luchasaurus spent his time like a crybaby on Big Brother when he couldn't wrestle.
Well, Dara Amazing said that match was crazy fun. Let's talk about how somebody at least enjoyed it. I mean,
no.
Bring Dara Amazing in. Obviously, Dara Amazing has better things to say about this match.
I liked people that were in it.
Well, I mean,
I have some of their merch.
I like 2 out of the 6 people that were in it, and maybe the referee.
I mean, I'm gonna be like you guys. Like, I love Christian Cage. I just don't like his association with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. I think Jungle Boy is at the point now where you're kind of wanting to see him not so much separate, but kind of do his own thing moving forward. I think that guy should be kind of elevated, kind of like how Sammy Guevara was elevated into the TNT title picture, after the Inner Circle. I would have a lot of time for that. And let's be honest, I think Adam Cole is a star and does not need to be in a trio right now.
Yes.
And that's just it.
180 million% yes.
Agree with you, Cody, on that one.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of guys that AEW brought in this last 6-7 months that, probably could have been a better fit and Impact, to be honest. Speaking of which, I think I did have some I think they'll get the man named formerly known as Bronson Reed is now officially going to New Japan Pro Wrestling. I wanted to shed some positive news after that before we go on from that. But what do we think about Bronson Reed in New Japan Pro Wrestling?
See, I think that's great news. Personally, I like the guy. I was familiar with his work over in Australia there. So I believe it was Jonah Rex that he used to wrestle under over in Australia. Fantastic worker. I think wasted by the WWE, and they let that slip through their fingers. I don't know why. Great pickup for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Again, between this and Buddy Matthews, New Japan are picking up on the right talent that's available for them.
Yeah. Jay, any
who is this Jay you keep referring to?
Oh, just shut up and answer the question.
Say my name, Parrish. Say my name.
Jay.
Well, hold on one second. Let me just fix that.
Hey Barbie, what say you?
Sorry, is there a show going on?
Bobby, what did you think about the tag match between Pac and Cody versus Malachi and Andrade?
This one was not too bad. I like all four talents in this one here, and they can all pull out the stops here. It was a reasonable match and kind of something worth watching, in my opinion. Again, four great talents in the ring at once and all pulling it off in a decent tag match.
Yeah, Cody, this is what happens when the guy who's hosting it is up for 15 minutes prior to showtime.
That's what happens when I get too comfortable around here and start giving a real opinion.
And there it is. It's tough to argue that when it's been proven time in and time out. There's only so much I can go and kind of just, defend WWE, but my Lord, you can have a better Royal Rumble of the released talents than the talents that you probably have right now. So
it's not going to be too long till we find out.
No. But did anybody else kind of feel that Pac was kind of like the odd man out in this tag match?
Yeah.
I think everybody felt like the odd man out in this tag match. I think I messaged it in the Slack chat that everyone ignored. Everyone should turn on Cody and just not have the match. And just because they all have issues with him. I think that would have been the perfect way to end this and just be like, nope, screw this guy.
And this is kind of the thing. Because this is really four men that WWE just said no to in the past. And these are four men in a tag match in AEW where we're just like, why should we care? And it has no bearing on the four individuals in this match. But I think, too, the story just needs to be there. I think this just shows you that we need a good story and good dialogue to get into a good match.
I think you just need one consistent storyline.
Well,
why are there three?
But argumentatively, though, Malachi Black and Cody, there's been a storyline driven
Oh,
there.
yeah.
I mean,
No,
you're
for
really
sure.
just adding
Yeah.
a different type of match, so you're not giving another one-on-one between the two of them. So
Well, and that's where I was going. Like, I think just as a final go home between Cody and Malachi was all that was needed instead of a tag.
well, I
Would you
mean,
guys agree?
but you could also draw it out and have that come up at another pay-per-view. This pay-per-view was already stuffed with a lot of big one-on-one matches that you could actually save that for down the road a little bit.
Yeah. No, Bobby, I 100% agree with you. I think they kind of rushed into this match, and I don't really think they needed to. And I think the last thing I like to see is just guys like Pac, Andrade, just be put into filler stuff when they could be doing so much more. They're just so good, and they don't need to be put into positions where we're just kind of like, really, why? But with that being said, I do want to kind of end off with the women's match because I actually, from what I saw, really actually enjoyed what I saw. What did you guys think of that? And what did you think of, like, what do you guys think about the future of the women's division now that they have the TBS championship coming in play? Kind of, what are your hopes that AEW does moving forward with not only Britt Baker as your women's champion, but the TBS title being introduced?
Okay. Well, okay, I'll start. Britt Baker's fantastic. First of all, she deserves to be the champion. I'm glad she is where she is. This match belonged where it belonged on the card and was one of the better highlights of the entire night. As we mentioned before, the pre-show completely wasted some of the other women's talent that is on this card, including Serena Deeb and Thunder Rosa, who deserve to be put into a much higher spot. And they do have some up-and-coming talents, and in the sake of saying one like a Jamie Hayter as well too. They need to bring in more, and they need to bring in some stronger talents to work with these women. It seems like the talent pool there is still pretty thin on the women's side. There is some great talent there, but there needs to be some more brought in order to bolster it, especially if you're going to bring in another championship. And this is where things go off the rails, is too many champions really kill off divisions in wrestling.
Is there a certain company where you're like, hey, I've seen this done before?
What are you applying MLW? Because I mean, don't get me started on them this week. I actually had beef with MLW this week too, so it's been a bad wrestling week for Bobby.
I was not, but I do agree.
Are you referring to Impact when they had like 5 titles and one of them was held by a man?
Oh, there's that too. Oh, I think we're referring to our conversation off air last week too, aren't we, Parrish? Possibly there too.
I mean, if we can go to Impact, I still don't understand why they had 2 straps for one championship. It made 0 sense to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you. Like, the more championships you have, kind of devalue the meaning of each title, because it's like, oh, the Oprah Winfrey show. Oh, you have a title. You get a title. Everybody gets a title. And I'm just like, can we just go back to making them mean something? And that's where I think Britt Baker, it was doing a great job of making the female women's title very significant on the AEW brand, where I thought the inclusion of a secondary title made me wonder, is AEW going to maybe do an all-female pay-per-view themselves? Is this something that we would actually be invested in?
Do we really want to talk about that particular subject this week?
Just saying, would you want to see that pay-per-view?
Of course I would want to, but
yeah,
I'm going to hands off on that one for now.
It depends who they partner with. Again, if they can bring in talents from other companies, then yeah, go ahead with it. But if you're just doing it for the sake of doing it and you're going to have a bunch of matches strewn together for no reason at all, then don't bother. There's no point. Just do it. If you're going to do it properly and bring in talents from everywhere else. I mean, obviously AEW is okay with working with other companies, so they could draw in talents from, obviously from Japan. They could draw in talents from, obviously MLW's got their featherweight division now too, and you've also got Impact as well, NWA. I mean, if they're going to bring them all together, great. Let's go for it and see something amazing.
Yeah. I think if we're talking about seeing something amazing, We're definitely not talking about this week's episode of Sunday Brunch, but what we are talking about is the weekly calendar that is Love Wrestling. As you see here, we have a plentiful amount of great shows, speaking with Monday with Wordsmith's Poetry of a Promo, which is definitely a can't miss. On Tuesday, you have Power Out and NXT, covering everything NWA and NXT 2.0. And then on Thursdays, you got Smart and Friends in between two beers. Saturday, we do have the weekly Elite Report and Blowing Up stream, plus a multiple of other shows: Turnbuckle Talk, Turnbuckle Rewind, Sunday Brunch, the POS show that is not highlighted. Come on now. And then all of the interviews that Spencer Love himself works very hard for. And we cannot even begin to forget about all the work that our beloved Josh Robinson does. Make sure you check out everything he does. He is killing it on all platforms, just like everyone at Love Wrestling is as well. Cody coming in, I would like to see Impact move to a female-heavy company at this point. Run Impact Wrestling with 75% 80 women program and only 25 men's content. Or we can just give Stardom a TV deal in North America.
That would work.
I mean, and that's kind of one, if you say if AEW was to partner up, I mean, I would go flat out with Stardom. Yeah.
Or Shimmer as well, too.
Yeah. And that's just it. Like, and then we have a little bit of TBT Rocks. I think that's a little bit of a homer pick, but we endorse that. Anything you guys want to chat about? Because, well, I mean, floor is open.
Well, I think the only other thing I wrote down was apparently there's been talk that Mustafa Ali had his recent storyline scrapped by the WWE for controversy. So him making mention that the fans would cheer for somebody like Drew McIntyre but boo him because of his name became a controversial topic for the WWE. And already, once again, Mustafa Ali's push to where he needs to be has been halted.
I mean, with that being said, didn't they do the same thing with Joe Gacy? They kind of had some controversial marks, and then they kept going with it. So maybe they're just using this as, maybe they're just working us a little bit when they say they're going to hold it off.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, everything's so PC nowadays that they can't pull this off and not upset their sponsors and stuff like that. I would love to see someone like Mustafa Ali just be given the freedom to run with this thing. Like, the guy can speak, he works great in the ring, and I think it is his time. He's got a lot to say, and I want to hear him say it. I know it sounds a little bit ridiculous because, hey, this guy is talking smack. He's not supposed to be a liked guy. But I'm okay with that. I want to hear this guy stir the pot and get some people emotional about wrestling again. And I think he's the right guy for it.
Yeah. Wordsmith, I'll turn to you because I know Mustafa Ali did come out with a beautiful promo of him creating his new America. Did you happen to see it? And what were your thoughts about it?
I have not, unfortunately, but it's been added to the list, the mental list. At this point, what I will say is he's been so stop and start. And I feel really bad because all you ever hear is, oh, it could go this way, and then it stops. And then it could go that, oh, but it stops. Stick with it.
Yeah, don't make him beat Dolph Ziggler 2.0.
And even that, it's how dare you have talent, right? how dare you, and ideas.
Well, that's just it. Like, the unfortunate of him being in that position and only to have it taken away, and then that created Kofi Mania. And then it just seemed like he could never.
Not opposed to it all.
No, I mean, but the fact that he had this golden opportunity taken away from him, and almost in that sense, it reminded me back when Mr. Kennedy won Money in the Bank, and they had that taken away, and you're kind of like wondering what could have been in WWE with him. But I'm kind of at that same mindset. What could have been if Mustafa Ali was the one to go over and then Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. Hello, Astrid. How are you? But then, yeah, like, just as you say, touch and go ever since then. I really thought there was steam going on with the tag team Mansoor, but then all of a sudden, just like everything else that I thought was going well, they're like, nope. And then I even thought they had a great match at Crown Jewel. And then I'm just like, okay, I can get behind this. At this point, I'm just like, you know what? Just pull one of them babyface and give me Mustafa Ali and Sami Zayn, please. Or at least pair them up. Because holy crap, would they do some good work with each other.
Yeah. Well said. Yeah. And again, Mustafa Ali is just one of those guys where it's like either, I guess as the phrase goes, shit or get off the paw already. Like either let this guy go take off the way he's supposed to take off, or let him go somewhere else so that he can go perform his craft somewhere where they're going to appreciate his talent.
I don't know. I'm getting a memo. Budget cuts.
We're not that show.
No, but like, I don't have a good feeling. And stop booking. I don't know. To me, it kind of feels like it's more of a will they, won't they situation. And it's not the will they push him. It's will they or won't they keep this person at this point? Because it's been so many times at this point.
I mean, throwing some shade at you, Wordsmith. Just thought I'd give you a platform to, respond. But unfortunately, due to budget cuts, we're not allowed to let you. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't need to. I don't want to. I don't care.
Actually, I'm gonna throw a name out there for you guys. I want to see what you think, because we have been talking about a lot of guys, whether it's being cut from WWE, some guys like Jay Lethal going into AEW, guys making a mark, Bronson Reed going to New Japan. Where do we see Buddy Matthews fitting in the landscape of professional wrestling right now? Where are your hopes for him? I want to talk about him. We don't seem to really talk about him as much. And I just rewatched him and Roman Reigns on SmackDown yesterday. And wow, like the guy is just good.
Pluggo has 4 Christmas trees in his house. I resent this person entirely. That is all I will say. Clip that at me. I don't care.
No, about your question there, Parrish.
Thank you, Bobby.
Christmas trees, Bobby. Not 1, not 2, but 4.
Buddy Matthews is great right where he is in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and he can stay there for a while as far as I'm concerned. I think there's a lot to be said about what he can do over there for some time. Hone his craft there before making any decisions to come back to North America. Go there, learn another style, really get mixed in with some really top talents over in Japan, do some traveling of the world, and come back better than ever and pick your spot when the time's right.
Yeah, I'd be a big proponent of him actually going over Kenta as the next New Japan US champion. I think that'd be amazing. Wordsmith, what are your thoughts about Buddy Matthews?
4 Christmas trees.
Okay.
Cut my budget.
I'm not cutting your budget. Cody is.
Von Wagner's appearance on SmackDown. That came out of nowhere.
No one had heard of him. Who's that man?
He looked fantastic standing there doing absolutely nothing in the segment because he's a big boy. But
I'm going to say this. The fact that the guy, that Kyle O'Reilly, who is notably having his contract kind of run shorter and shorter and coming up in the past. The fact that they took away the one guy that he's partnered up with NXT and did some with him on SmackDown might indicate that they might be planning on losing a Kyle O'Reilly. That is my thought. I hope not. I hope maybe there's something that they thought that they could do that can make Kyle O'Reilly look like a star, like he should. But unfortunately, that is what I see. I think Von Wagner is on SmackDown simply because they probably don't have anything for him in NXT. And they're like, we could just make him a bodyguard for Adam Pearce so we can then disassociate him with cool Kyle O'Reilly.
Poor Kyle O'Reilly. He's never going to be a star no matter where he goes. And that's not his fault either. He's a fantastic talent. Just nobody seems to get it.
Part of me wonders if he goes to AEW, are we going to see the reuniting Bobby Fish, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly at some point?
Why? Like, seriously, why? Like, enough of this
to be
WWE brought over influx and like just doing WWE related stuff on the other show.
To be fair, they always acknowledged WWE over at AEW in some fashion.
I get it.
It just seems like it's what everybody does now.
Yeah.
I personally believe that the best thing for Kyle O'Reilly is to stay in WWE if he wants to be his own guy.
Yeah.
Don't go back to something where if you go to AEW, they might throw him in a tag with Bobby Fish and he redoes everything he's done either with Red Dragon in Ring of Honor or even in NXT. Partner him up with Adam Cole, where he's done his entire career pretty much has been linked with Adam Cole. Have him just be his own asset and stay somewhere, like, just be somewhere different than them. And I think he has a better chance of growing his stock without necessarily being attached to them. Outside of that, we're living in a world now where everyone kind of just wants to be with their friends. Case in point, Adam Cole, and probably case in point, soon to be Kevin Steen.
Yeah. I don't have much more to add to that. It's the truth. I don't necessarily believe that it's the best move for anybody right now. I think, especially over in AEW, you have a very overstocked market of wrestlers over there that if they continue to just bring guys in from other companies, you're holding back on the progression of the ones that you're trying to build. And yeah, they've done it with a few guys, but like I said earlier in this show, they need to do it with more guys. They need homegrown talent. They need to stop relying on bringing these guys, established names in from other companies and say that these guys, sorry, the door's closed. You're going to have to go to Japan or somewhere else in the world to hone your craft for now until the time is right. And we have a spot for you.
Yeah. Wordsmith, I can assure you, your budget is not being cut. Would you be able to add to our conversation?
We are living in a new era, and there is no dispute about that. But no, I
are you sure you don't want to budge from that?
It's it's all about the budge. It's all about that budge. All about the budge. All about the budge. Sorry, it was a long night last night. What can I say? I agree with all points brought up. I do.
And Daryl Mason wins the internet today.
All about the budge. Parentheses T.
Oh, that's my favorite comment of the day.
Well, I do agree with maybe the doors should be closed sometimes because forbidden doors should be forbidden sometimes. And if they're open to everybody, then it's not very much of a forbidden door now, is it? No. Close it sometimes. Open it other times. Wrestling's crazy. And I think the more places there are to go, the better. And the more talent's able to fluctuate between places that aren't located in Stamford, Connecticut, is better for them. So, and at the end of the day, it is all about that budge. All about the budge.
I mean,
Yes, absolutely.
mhm.
Open that door for everyone, but you know what? Mostly right now, AEW needs more women. I think that WWE could use a little bit of an influx on their main show, just from my personal opinion. I don't know if I'm accurate on that because I don't keep up with that. But from what I've seen, it's about 4 or 5 people, if that.
They are adding a lot of NXT to their dark matches on their shows, which I think are it's very refreshing to see when you're going to the shows. You're getting something that you're not expecting, which I think is very appreciative as a fan nowadays. But yeah, I agree with you. Like WWE really needs to kind of, I mean, maybe they need to watch a little bit of Love Wrestling and learn how to change the game a little bit.
Nice plug.
Yeah, you're
Beautiful.
welcome.
Got to make that budge.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, I don't know, is there anything else you guys want to talk about, or should we, make like one of the 4 Christmas trees and start wrapping it up here?
Wrapping up the Christmas tree. I love it. Yeah, no, I got nothing else for today. Unless anybody in the comments wants us to continue going.
I mean, I think I'm at the point with when we're talking about the forbidden doors. I think we've been just talking about it too much to where now it's just like, who cares about a forbidden door unless you're actually going to treat it like a forbidden door? Just kind of like what you said, Wordsmith. If it's just revolving, it's not that forbidden. And it's just one of those things. If you want to make something special, then just leave it alone.
Actually, one thing, speaking of the forbidden door, that's not very forbidden because he's friends. They are friends. You could say they're best friends. And now they've joined a gang, which I'm slightly concerned about because what is Trent's mom going to think? He's in a gang now. It's weird. Can we talk about what happened during the pre-show of
Well, explain to us what all happened at said pre-show.
I didn't see the match myself on Rampage, but I believe there was
Ed,
a mention.
Get in here if you want to talk. Has to talk forever.
If you want it, come get it. Or whatever that catchphrase from the fucking 90s, from the flippin' 90s was. Yeah, I'll bring one of my dogs, to quote Orange Cassidy. And I was immediately like, does that mean the Stone Pitbull is coming to Dynamite? Because I am open to this door being open. And if chaos is coming through, there's going to be some weather. There's going to be some weather coming in after it. Everyone's looking at me with blank expressions right now, I suppose.
Mostly because I'm trying to not go on a rampage again because you had to bring up Orange Cassidy.
And mostly because I still have the junk in my eyes that I'm trying to get out. So from waking up.
What I'm trying to say is Okada's probably coming to AEW. This is the first step in getting that. And I'm okay with that. Yeah. Cody got it.
Okada's fantastic. No matter where he goes, I think it'll be great to see the matches.
Maybe some of the guys. Little raid, making it raid.
Yeah, I want to see the Rainmaker in a North American ring. Period. He's a great talent, and there's a lot of great guys that he can go up against. I can't wait for the day he goes up against Daniel Bryanson.
I'm even gonna put this out. I'd love to see a lot of Okada matches in AEW. I'd even like to see Okada against the Andrades. I'd like to see Okada against Amiro, Okada against Pac. I think
Malachi.
Yeah,
Okada Malachi would be, that would be amazing.
I mean, that would be a root of my evil if I was booking this.
Can't disagree on that.
No, and then I'd also love to see even just Kenta, I think the fact that nobody's truly landed a true partnership with New Japan yet is really a shame to the viewers. I would love to see a lot more influx and Forbidden Door with New Japan Pro Wrestling. I know before the American Dragon switched from WWE to AEW, that was a huge negotiation tool with WWE. And before talks broke down, that's eventually from what I understand, what led to Daniel Bryan going to AEW. So who's to say that maybe that's something that he's allowed Tony Khan to kind of explore permanently now with AEW? I don't know. But all I know is if it happens, I am jacked.
Wrestle Kingdom's around the corner. I'm sure Daniel Bryanson and Okada is something that could be in the works. Who knows? Something along those lines. I'm sure he's going to Wrestle Kingdom would be the big plan.
Yeah, and I think too, like there's always going to be that written storyline of, the Elite, Super Click going over there with their version of the Bullet Club. I mean, there's already that written to where maybe an AEW. I would actually go about. I will say, I'm going to say takeover of New Japan. Because they are known to do some ultimate shots at WWE, I would call it the AEW takeover of New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Omega versus Jay White would be, oh my God, that would be good. Somebody bring up that comment because I love that comment. Like, shut up and take my money. But also, Omega just lost a belt. What's going to happen next?
Does he still have the AAA title?
I believe so. Somebody in the comments correct me on that.
Because I
don't believe he's defended it in a long time.
As soon as he dropped the Impact Championship to Christian, I believe he stopped bringing all of his titles.
Christian cheated. Christian cheated in that match. Yeah. And I don't consider that a real championship win. There. I said it.
We are getting some conflicting answers. I mean, that's 3-1. I'm going to say he's still the champion.
I'm pretty sure he is still the champion. I mean, it's 3. It's AAA. That adds up.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I mean.
Oh, you're amazing. You're amazing. With the facts.
Coming in with statistical. Shut your mouth. I know my stuff.
Straight facts.
Correction. It's unanimous now. We're good.
Yeah, is it?
There we go.
Glad we sorted that out. Feel accomplished.
I'm glad that our comments are just in flux as we are on the show. That is terrific. We're starting this Sunday, and
I think this is the most attention we've kept on Sunday Brunch in months. This is fantastic.
You're welcome.
So with that being said,
Sunday Brunch. Can't see it, but it's there.
I think Jay White is the face for sure in that match.
I think here's the thing: Omega should now, and like this is wordsmith booking, wordsmith armchair booking. I want Omega to lose his mind. If he loses all of his belts, I want him to lose his mind and leave the Elite because he's a liability and he's not as strong as he used to be. I want a redemption run all over the world if it's possible and just see where that goes. There you go. I want that to happen.
But who's the face?
Where's it taking place?
Cody didn't say that.
Cody.
Yeah. I'm going to say if it's AEW, who's the face?
In my perfect scenario, Jay White would be the face.
But if it's a New Japan, you would flip it?
Nope. Because
why did it matter where it was?
Kenny's the invader. That's how you can get that angle over. Because if Kenny's the invading force, it's just like, no, I used to run this place. If they do it right, if he's a jerk about it, it could work. Or Jay White comes in and is like, tries to help Kenny out. Kenny pushes him away. And they end up having a feud from there in AEW. See?
What I feel might happen is that Kenny Omega might be trying to, like, I don't know, there might be a little bit of like uncertainty with the not super click, but with the Elite, just with the fact that, they're all losing their titles. I have a feeling this could set up Kevin Steen coming in, aligning with the Young Bucks, and kicking a Kenny out.
Yes.
That is what my thought
That's-
process.
Is that not the storyline that I just wove?
I don't know. I'm half
Didn't give-
asleep. I'm not paying attention fully to everything. You did
Didn't
take
give
like 10
detail.
minutes out from like budget relations.
Budge. About the budge.
It's all about the budge. Tea.
Budge.
I don't know. Bobby, what say you?
Who is the face in that situation?
Like, I don't know. Like, to me, Jay White would be the face. Didn't matter where he went right now. I mean, he's a hot talent that's on the rise and everything. People want to get behind him. AEW's been running with Omega as the heel. Like, unless it takes a turn with him getting the boot here coming up, I say Jay White's the face. It doesn't matter where it is.
Yeah, I think right now it's hard to have anybody coming into AEW and getting booed off the bat. I mean, was Miro the last guy to come in and be booed?
But he wasn't when he first came in.
No, but to kind of really start things off as the heel, like
Dan Lambert got booed when he came out. He's a wrestler who came in and is super talented. I'm sorry. No, stop it. We don't need that.
Wordsmith, tell us your favorite Dan Lambert match.
Shut up.
And with that,
I'm afraid the budget doesn't allow for my incredibly vast vocabulary when it comes to how much I dislike everything about what he's done.
well, you know what I don't like about him is that he is not a giant supporter of the man that we like to support, and that is RK Athletics, our beautiful sponsor over there on our bottom left corner, where you can find him in all social platforms of RK Athletics 1. We want to thank him for just being there, helping us stay in shape whenever we feel unfit. I know he does some great work. Again, if you can't see and make an appointment with him locally, you can always go online, as he provides you a lot of online services. Go check out RK Athletics 1. Wordsmith, where can we find you on the social platforms, and what do you have coming up this week?
Well, this week on Poetry for Promo, we have a spelling lesson. And I won't say it goes perfectly to plan, but it's an attempt. We are covering the one, the only Tracy Smothers. And we're going to teach you how to spell the word thug really, really accurately. And apart from that, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram. I think that's all we have. At Poetry of a Promo. And of course, right here on lovewrestling.ca, the only place to find Poetry of a Promo. Like, subscribe, comment how much you love my scintillating voice and my dialogue. I know, I love reading those comments that don't exist, but you should make one so that I can read it. Poetry of a Promo. At Poetry of a Promo. Follow it, like it, love it.
I hope Dan Lambert follows you. Bobby Munson, where can we find you, and what do you have going on?
Well, I think I'm going to go make a comment about how much I love that voice by the Wordsmith after this. You can probably find me at Real Bobby Munson, something like that. Also, you can go and watch my mediocre podcast, Ring Respect Radio, over on the Video Bros Network with Papa Smokes. And also check me out on the commentary team for Prairie Pro Wrestling as well. Many great matches up there from real talent out of Canada. So yes, and hopefully one day some more real talent going to invade the ring of a PPW soon rather than later.
Yeah, and you can definitely follow me on the Twitter at Chris Parrish, the Instagram at Chris.Parrish. My Instagram is the Chris Parrish. If you're in the area, you can follow me every week at Real Canadian Wrestling. You can actually follow me this Saturday at the other PPW, Pure Power Wrestling, out in Lethbridge, Alberta, as I'll be taking on Ken Stevens. Wordsmith, Bobby, I'd like to say thank you for joining me today and getting me through my first hour and a bit of Sunday. I appreciate it. Until then, everyone, we'd like to inform you guys just to stay safe, stay kind, but also love wrestling. Thank you. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your week.
All about the budge.
Tea.